Hi, and welcome back here to episode 108. We're back in the garage here. What we're doing today is I haven't got the box off the servi-car. Like I said, we got a lot going on still, but moving forward on the rear brakes. So I'm going to keep the wheels on right now, and what I've got going on is here's both backing plates. These are original OEM used backing plates. I've got new hardware. I've got new wheel cylinders, one on both sides, a new master cylinder hardware, new brake lining. So this is an example. I'm just going to tilt the camera down a bit. Here's an example on this one. There's the old wheel cylinder right there. It can probably be rebuilt, so I'll keep that and set it aside. But I'm going with these two backing plates. They're straight, there's no bends in them, and the anchors for the springs are still in them. So over here on my 45 table, as you see, it's getting a little bit less cluttered. This is everything for the servi-car. I got every part now. My handlebars are on the other side actually, but I got them in the risers. But this is my whole 45 kit. I got my speedo up there. I've got my carb there. There's another backing plate missing one anchor pin for the spring. There's this brand new seat bushing. There's an outer primary. There's two inner primaries. All the hardware for the primaries. There's a backup head right there. Couple primaries. I even got the servi-car center caps now. My wiring harness is in here. All kinds of stuff, but so I got two backing plates, and then here's my brake line and all my fittings as well. So I'm all ready to get it going and set up. That being said, I'm going to work on them on the little bench here for today. I'm going to remove this wheel cylinder. I'm going to get the new wheel cylinders mounted. And then I'm going to get the mounting hardware, so the backing plate bolts on to the rear end right there. So I may get the wheel off. It's pretty crowded in here again right now, but I'm going to get the wheel cylinders mounted on. I'm going to get the wheel off. I'll get the right wheel off for sure. I'll get the one mounting backing plate mounted. And then maybe get the hardware on. I've never installed servi-car rear brakes before. So that being said, I'm excited for it. Here's my clutch hub right here. In that box back there are the brand new clutch discs. There's the new muffler. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's an OEM muffler. There's the manifolds. There's my battery box. My handlebars are right here, still wrapped up. There's my, what is it? I think it's a 37-degree angle plate for the headlight to relocate so it aims straight. And then there's the new, they're OEM risers and bushings. But yeah, besides that, we got the whole front end mounted together. The front brakes are in already. I've got the fender just sitting there. It's not bolted in yet because I obviously need to get it painted. The tanks, got to get them painted. Got the cluster just sitting there loose. I haven't put in the seat post yet because I got it all over there, but I have to coat it all in oil. So yesterday I dropped off my transmission. I was going to attempt to do it. I can get all the gears to move in forward gears, but as soon as I put in the reverse gear, it's binding on me, and I don't know if I have it shimmed in correctly or what it is. I've taken it to TJ's Cycles, which is in Corona, Ontario, who specializes in 45s, pans, knuckleheads. I've taken my transmission there yesterday to him, and he's going to see what I'm doing wrong and get it all in play for me. Again, we've got the dampener all in, all the pieces for it. Got everything going on there, the headlight, and then I've got now the adjuster ring, which will bring the headlight down because this is an adjustable front end here. So as you see kind of right now, the headlight is going up. That ring will bring it back down. I think it's a 37 degree, don't quote me, but I think that's what it is. But yes, so I'm gonna focus on the rear end. And I have to get the box off to put the rear master in, but I will do that at another date. But I'd like to get the rear end all done, so when I get the tranny, I'm able to put the chain on and then put my primary on. Then I'll throw the bars on, then I'll be able to limp it around the property and make sure it's running good and everything. But yeah, so it's coming along. So I'll get the camera set up here while I just work on these backing plates, and we'll go from there. So here we are, this backing plate here, we've got an anchor and anchor. Those are going to be for our springs. Down here is an anchor point for our shoe, our brake shoe. These two holes here are mounting bolts or mounting holes for our master cylinder. The center one's where the bleeder will go. The center one right here is where our actual brake line will go. These four here are to mount onto the bike. So this one's clean. This one here, sorry, I hope the camera's on us. This one here has got a wheel cylinder in it. Now this is obviously old. This boot is broke. I can rebuild this and put a new boot on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it for now because I've got new ones. So I'm going to unscrew it. I'm going to guess these are probably all original. You don't see too many of them kicking around. I got one from TJ's in Corona. The other one I got from eBay, surprisingly. And then my other two, which are the backup ones, I got from Ron in Wheatley, Ontario. All the hardware I got here, I got from 45 Restoration in New York. And then, so there's the back of the wheel cylinder. So we've got a Zerk fitting, which, well, no, sorry, that's not a Zerk fitting, that's a nipple, that's a bleeder. Looks like a grease fitting, a Zerk fitting. And then our line goes in at the bottom here. And then obviously our mounting. So that's why you see 3 holes in the top, 2 mounting. The center one is our bleeder. And then the center one is for the brake line. So these are, surprisingly the rust. And because these are going to be hidden, I'm really not going to clean them up. When I do a final assembly, I might just put some black spray paint on them, but I'm really not worried about it. So these are from V-Twin Cycle, replica rear wheel cylinders for 1951 to 1973 G, 45G. So there's a G, which is a servi-car with electric start. A G stands for a servi-car. That's the model. So I'm just pulling it out here. Just was seeing if there was any hardware with it. It told me there wasn't, so I ordered hardware separately, but I just thought I'd take a look. So we have a plug in the center right now, because we don't want any moisture or anything getting in there. That is for our brake line. The top one is the bleeder screw, and that's where we would bleed the brakes. And then the other two sides is for the mounting hardware. I'm just gonna pack this back up. I just keep looking out the window. I got someone coming to get some wood. I cut down a tree over the weekend, so someone coming to get some wood. So that's an OEM one. And this is an aftermarket one. So as you can see, it's the same size, missing the boots on these ones, as I told you. So should be doing the trick for us. So I'm gonna have to take out the bleeder so I can fit it through the hole. And then I'm just gonna see, these are Phillips screwed mounting hardware. Again, from Restoration 45 in New York. They've been pretty good to me. This last batch, I didn't even have to pay anything at the door. I was a little bit surprised, but I was excited about it. All I ordered was the hardware. I thought it'd be a lot heavier than it was, and it wasn't that heavy, so that made me feel even better. And they have a Phillips on them, so they don't need to be too tight. I'm just making sure the thread pitch is correct because I ordered a bunch of hardware, and I just want to make sure I've got the right match here before I go get my tooling. Yep, so that's the right one. So I'm just going to go get a wrench to take the bleeder out. Like I say, 45 restoration. Been around for a long time. The owner passed away. I believe it was called the Trike Boys, or it's a family that dealt strictly with servi-cars. They've purchased it. I will look it up. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's the Trike Boys, but again, don't quote me. I apologize if I'm butchering the name. So I'm just setting it in. I'm going to just start the mounting bolts just with my finger. I'm going to put the bleeder in now because I need to be able to get to it with my wrench. I just use a wrench, that's all you need. It'll be tight enough, and then when I actually go to bleed it, I will open and close it, obviously, so the fluid gets all the air out of it. Yeah, we keep a lot of our wood when we cut our trees down here, but this one was 62 or 67 feet in the air. Used a manual boom to get up to the tree, and then just had it severed and dropped on the ground, and then just cut it up with 30 inch bar saw, but nonetheless kept some for our own firewood and then some for other people. I'll go get a flathead now, and then I'll screw those in. A lot of the old 45 and panhead stuff were just flathead Phillips's screws, and kind of funny in a way because they can strip really easy. So you kind of grab a really fat screwdriver to make sure you're recessed deep in the screw head. I might go back and put Loctite on these, but I feel like I shouldn't have to with the lock washer. I'm confident in it. So there's a brand new wheel cylinder on a 1930 to 1972 backing plate. And then we'll do the same thing. We got another brand new one. I'm going to write down the part number on these, obviously, in case I need to replace them again. Kind of make a little book of all the parts that I'm using, especially on parts that may need to be serviceable, like brakes. Brakes have to be serviceable over time. So, good to, I won't keep the boxes, but I'll write down the numbers off the boxes. Just checking on the person here. Nope, not yet. Again, I have to take out the bleeder bolt first to get it in the hole, just because the thread on it won't let me go in. So just a wrench. And we just unscrew. And then we got the three holes, and then the big hole. The big hole is where our actual brake line will go through. So I'm just Start the one, get the brake bleeder screw in. I can only go about 180, then I hit the lip of it. But that's okay. Not in a rush. A lot of sirens going on. The students are back. And I'm not saying that the sirens are because of the students, but sometimes it is. Thought someone was in the lane. We got a long laneway, so got to get up and take a look. It was just all the cars pulling over for the whatever it was, an ambulance or fire truck. Okay. Now we'll start our second one. So like I say, it goes a mounting screw, and then the brake bleeder, and then a mounting screw. So mounting screw, brake bleeder, mounting screw, and then where my actual brake line fitting will be. Again, just a flathead Phillips. Run it in. They got lock washers behind them. I'm confident in the lock washer. And I'm just going to hold the cylinder with my left hand and just tighten it with the right. So there we go. We got two brand new wheel cylinders on OEM older backing plates. And again, OEM original wheel cylinder, OEM replica wheel cylinder from V-Twin Products, which I got from TJ's Motorcycles in Corona, Ontario. Gonna just take a break there. The person's here, and I'll come back to it in a second. So now I'm just going to take this wheel off. I got one nut left on it. I got brand new axle spacer. I've got brand new wheel nuts, and obviously the new chrome covers. So I'm gonna just, there we go. These are Harley Davidson wheels. I haven't had these off in, I'd say, maybe 2 years, because I put the rear end together when I got it. So I'm just going to set this tire aside. And yes, they are special wheels for a servi-car. Now I'm hoping, I haven't had the drum off yet, so I'm hoping that the drum is going to come off, because it's a tapered shaft on there, and you may have to get a puller. And I haven't gone that far to look yet, so I'm hoping that I'm just going to grab an adjustable here and see if I can get that nut to come off. But yeah, I haven't had them off, so I'm kind of not concerned, but I'm curious on if it's going to come off or not. There's no brakes or anything in behind there, so I'm kind of wondering, like I say, if it's got if it's been pushed on far enough to be tapered. I hope not, but because I have heard horror stories about trying to pull them off with a regular claw puller because of it being tapered, and then people damage their drum. I've got a dead blow hammer here. I'll grab and see. Just a rubber mallet, weighted rubber mallet. See, it's got a keyway in it, so it's keyed. to get a puller. I was hoping I didn't. There it goes. Look at that. Oh, luck of the draw. So, lucky. So there's my drum. That's an OEM drum. So when I go to put it back in, I'll probably put some brake clean in there and some, not sandpaper, emery cloth, and just clean it up a little. But I'm glad that came off. I was getting a little worried there. So you can see the keyway, where the keyway goes. Just going to bring the camera over. I don't know well what you're looking at. So that's where the keyway goes. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 is where the mounting bolts for the backing plate go. So I'm going to, should have a Zerk, yep, there's a Zerk fitting right back there to grease this axle up. So I don't see any grease or seal leaking. So I'm probably going to leave that. If I need to, I can pull it all off again. Then I can pull this seal out and put a new seal in. But there is a grease fitting there. So when the time comes to it, I will grease that up. So now I'm just grabbing some of the OEM hardware here for the backing plate. So here's our backing plate. Again, we want the wheel cylinder to be on the top. It's going to go on just like so. What I don't know, these are the OEM replica wheel cylinder, backing plate bolts. And I'm just going to grab my manual to see if the nut goes on the back and the bolt head goes on the inside. I think that is the way it goes, because this is where our brake shoes are going to be. So we don't want the nut to be sticking out, but I could be wrong. I've never done them, so I'm just going to divert to my manual. Once I found the page, I'll show you what I found. So again, this is my first time ever doing Harley 45 servi-car brakes. And I have many manuals and parts books. So this one is a parts catalog for servi-car. I like it because it actually shows me a breakdown. So what it's showing me is the bolt is going to go in through the front, the nut's going to go on the back. Secondly, part number 30, right there is a shim. It says you may have to shim it out. As of right now, I don't have any shims. So again, I'm doing mock-up right now. So what I'll do is I will put it all together without the shim, and then I will read in the manual what kind of measurement I need to determine if I need a shim or not. So as of right now, I'm just going to go full mounting, backing plate to the mounting hardware. But it's good to know that there is a shim that can be involved, and now I just need to determine on why there needs to be a shim, and then what I measure to determine the thickness of the shim. So now I just line up the bolt, and then I put the nut on the back. Grab the next bolt. So it's just a bolt and a nut. Line up my hole. I'm excited that I'm getting closer to be able to drive it around the property. May not seem like I'm getting close, but believe it or not, I am. The engine's already rebuilt. The front end is all attached, mocked up, except for the handlebars. I don't need a speedo to get it done. Once I get the fiberglass box off, I put the master cylinder on, and then I also mount the battery box. Once the battery box is mounted, then I can run the wiring harness. Reason why I need the battery box in is because that's where the wires start. So I need to know exactly how I need to run them and which way I need to run them. So yeah, so really it's not that far. It's just like the FXR. I know it seems like an endless project, got to remember for a year I had a shoulder done. So, you know, it all plays a part, but nonetheless, it's coming along. So now I'm just going to snug these up. I'm using a socket on the outside and just a wrench on the inside. They're quite long bolts, and so I'm just going to, I got an extension on here trying to pass the spindle of the axle there. And again, I don't want to go too tight. I just want to go tight enough where the backing plate mounts the bracket or the mounting hardware, because I don't want to deform it at all. Because these are straight backing plates. For their year, they're in great shape. So it was a nice mother and daughter that came and picked up some wood there. They're using it to grow mushrooms on. I thought it was neat. They gave me the site and information if I was interested, and I said, I never thought about that. And they said fall time is when they do it every year. They just have to find the wood. And I said, well, I got the wood, so that's what they're doing. So like I say, Jeff from Corona, Ontario, if you're in Ontario, is where I try and buy all my parts. He sells reproduction and OEM parts that he finds at swap meets or buys people out in bulk. And then the other place is Restoration 45 in New York. Again, I use them if TJ's doesn't have the part, because the Canadian dollar is not that great right now. And then same with same with Bill's. There's a place in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but I have ordered a few things from him. So I've got that mounted now. So we took our backing plate, mounted our wheel cylinder, and then mounted it on the axle. So this is the right rear. I'm just going to take a look and see in my manual the steps of mounting this the brake shoes. I might be able to get that done now, so just bear with me here. We're only doing the right rear because I've got another bike and the tractor on the other side, so bear with me here. So here we are. I reviewed the manual and got it figured out there. So we got 2 retaining clips and 2 springs. So we've got a long shoe and a short shoe. So the long shoe always goes to the back. So I cheat a little bit. I mount my return spring in before I install it, and then I'm going to slide my brakes in with that spring already mounted. There we go. Now This is just a lock spring that's going to hold the shoe in place. There's a little indentation there. I'll grab the other backing plate to show you. So that's mounted in there. There's a little indentation right there. This clip is just going to clip into place just like that. And there's one on this side as well. I hope the camera can pick that up. But yeah, so that's all that's doing. So I may have my head in the way while I look up in there. I'm just going to grab my light. Just going to grab my light to shine up in there, just to make sure I get it into place. It's a retaining clip. Again, sorry if my head's in your way. Tough to see up in there. I'm thinking I may have to squeeze them in a little bit, just because there's not a lot of tension on it. Maybe there isn't supposed to be a whole lot of tension on it. I'm not too sure, but I just want to make sure. There we go. And then in the bottom goes the holding spring, which is a shorter spring. And I'm going to have to use a pair of needle nose pliers to get it to find its home. Just trying to line the hoop up there with the hole. Like I said, this is a generic kit. I've see if I can, there we go, put some light on the situation that way. Sorry if that's in your way. Spring is so tight, which you want it to be, but almost too tight that I can't get it into the location. Next time it might be worth putting that one on first. Once I get it in, I can use the pliers to open it up. It's just to even get it started there. I don't want to bend the spring because we need it to be as strong as it can be to, there we go. So now we will use the pliers on this end. They do make a spring tool. I use needle nose pliers. I used to do transport truck brakes this way. Just because I can use the leverage of the actual needle nose plier. But this is pretty tight, I'll tell you. Ooh. Oh. Let me see what I can find to get that in there. That is a very tight spring. Not a whole lot of wiggle room on it. I'm wondering if I did that one first and snuck it up in. So what we've done is we got our wheel cylinder on, got our brakes in place. Got our return spring in place. Got our clips in place. I just got to get this spring down here. I'm going to grab a pick maybe and see if that can help. Very, got a lot of tension on it. I don't want to have it fly back and hit me in the face, that's for sure. I'm trying to think and play out what else I could use there. I don't know if a pair of neo-nose vice grips could pull it across or not. There's really nothing to pull on. That's just it. And nothing really to pull on. I'm going to try and maybe take these clips off. Take the spring off. See if I can do the bottom first. No guarantees, but worth a try. You'll see how thick the material is. This spring is almost the exact same thickness there. So I got the bottom in. I don't know if this will work going in this way, but we'll give it a shot. Other people out there may have a different way of doing it, which is fine. Might have to get a strap to hold these on, because the pressure is just trying to kick it back. See if I can get it. I don't even have any fluid in that cylinder and it is tight. Like I said, you don't want to have it fly back and hit you in the face. It can happen pretty fast. Happen pretty fast. I was close there, but no cigar. This is sometimes where second hand comes into play. So what's happening up top is the wheel cylinder's trying to push the brake pads out as I'm trying to hold them in to get this spring into play. So close, you can see the scratch mark where I got it. I'm gonna have to get some kind of ratchet strap to go around there. Like I say, first time I've done them, so there might be an easier way, but the top spring's a little bit more easier to play with than the bottom one. Now if I got a short ratchet strap, that would be ideal. Sometimes when things aren't going your way like this, not gonna lie to you, I like working with music, but YouTube calls a copyright every time I have music on, so I just don't have it on, obviously. But yeah. I don't know if this will work. This isn't a ratchet strap, it's just a friction strap, but we'll give it a shot. Yes, it could come in handy having two hands. Or two more hands, I should say. I have two hands, I need two more hands. So, I've worked in shops before where, you know, people get in little tiffs with other people you work with, and I always laugh because I'm like, I don't care what shop you're in, there will be a time where you'll need someone else's help. And even if you are your own man doing the operation, there's still a time where you could utilize someone else's help. And so you never want to anger, tick someone else off. Strictly for that reason. Okay. It's not in there snug, but good enough for what we're dealing with. Okay, now I'm going to see about using both my hands here. I'm pulling it right across. Not going to hold. That strap is not going to hold. That's very upsetting. Very upsetting. Again, someone out there probably has an easier way of doing it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I can't even tell you a car that I've ever had this much problem with. Done a lot of car brakes in my day as well, and never one with this much problem. Just seeing if I can. You guys are watching this, like I say, I don't edit anything. Just trying to make sure I didn't damage the seal on the wheel cylinder there. So like I said, someone will probably email me and tell me a simpler way. And I'll be like, thank you, I still have the other side to do. Thank you for telling me that simpler way. But till then, that is how we got to where we need to be, is right there, right now. So I'm just trying to make sure that this O-ring didn't get pinched. Last thing I want is that to happen. Last thing I want that to happen. There we go. That clips in, that clips in. So there we go. A little bit longer than I want it, and I don't even know how far we are in the video, but we put a new wheel cylinder in. We took the ancient original wheel cylinder off, put a new wheel cylinder and new mounting bolts in the wheel cylinder, put four new mounting bolts in the backing plate onto the axle without a spacer. Got the shoes on, big shoes always on the back, the less materials on the front. Got the return spring in, the hold down clips, and then the holding spring. Got some tools we were fighting with to get it on with. Like I say, a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't have the keyway in right now. I'm just sliding the drum over. Here we go. One side mocked up and done. But yeah. Just give me a second there. So we got that side all done. We will adjust and do the other side. So here's my manual. I got the manual out to see where all the parts went. I said I'd never done these before. So for the left side, I got the wheel cylinder mounted in the backing plate. I got my spring, two new retaining clips. That's my rear master cylinder. And I got the hardware for it too. So it's coming along. That took a lot longer than I wanted, but I'm learning, and it's all that matters when you can do it by yourself, or get to a point when you're doing it by yourself and then ask someone. Just like I did with the transmission with Jeff at TJ's in Corona. Let's see if I got one of his stickers up here. I should. Right here. TJ's Motorcycle Parts. And there's his number. I can't turn the phone sideways because it will change the whole view on YouTube when I do that. But there it is. Hit him up. I might have another one of his. I thought I did. And maybe one that we can read vertically. I don't see it, but nonetheless. TJ's Motorcycle Parts, Corona, Ontario, 519-813-9971. Hit him up for your knucklehead, panhead, and 45 needs. He does have some Evo, and he also has some twin cam. Excuse me. So hit him up, and he'll be happy to help you. He's doing my tranny right now for me, so looking forward to getting that back. And like I said, when it's just 3 forward gears, we don't have a problem. We added the reverse gear. We had some grinding and some lockup. And I didn't want to split the case. Probably something in the shimming, but looking forward to getting it back. So tune in till next time. Got the rear right brake done. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.